okay, I've been trying to make it so there's light and you can see that I exist, but without having the effect of it making my eyes disappear like a cartoon character behind my glasses. So, you know, bear with me on that.
In every generation, there is a
every generation, there is a chosen one. And this generation, it's me. I'm the generation chosen one of watching Buffy.
This is madness. What can you have been thinking? You are the Slayer. Lives depend upon you. Instead of which you enslave yourself to this cult.
You don't like the color?
That's such a good opening. That was, I mean, this show was so good about setting you up for something and then subverting it, like, immediately.
And as the Watcher, I forbid it.
And you'll be stopping me how?
My girl. Ugh, I would give anything to have a creepy witch room like this. But the thing is, the way that the ceiling is slanted, I'd hit my head because I'm very tall. Not like, you know, Paul Bunyan tall, but I'm taller than many people that I meet. Not all the people.
We haven't seen a vampire in over a week. I'd say he should get a girlfriend if he wasn't so old.
Buffy! Buffy, he's not that old!
Ooh, stretchy. Where was I?
Jail.
Pretending that...
This bitch is 30. I don't mean to be that way, but like...
That girl's on fire!
Oh, if you see smoke over here, it's not pom-poms. But you can get your videos removed, so I can't say what it is.
I've been slaying vampires for more than a year now, and I have seen some pretty cringeworthy things, but...
It's interesting that she said cringeworthy, because, like, cringe means something different to a teen audience now.
But that's the thrill of living on the Hellmouth. There's a veritable cornucopia of fiends and devils and ghouls.
Okay, settle down. We get the concept of the show.
That means hacking illegally into the school's computer system. At last, something I can do.
You're at the school, Willow. You don't have to... You could just guess somebody's password. Like, all she really would have to do is get on a school computer.
Oh, great. How'd it go?
I didn't actually get to try out.
Sometimes I think about
fierce competition.
how different the world is, but how the same things are. And then I see something like this kitchen, and it's not the same.
That's okay. Your platitudes are good.
There are geese! They've got little porcelain geese. You don't understand. If you were not around at the time, you cannot possibly understand the fucking chokehold that white geese with a little bow around their neck had over our moms when it came to, like, kitchen decor. Like, somehow the goose became the symbol of the 90s kitchen. It was ubiquitous.
There's this girl, Amy, and, she trains with her mom, like...
Yeah, you can't tell that's a Snapple because they took the label
her
off.
mom's pretty into it.
I'm not suspecting that's a Snapple at all.
Catherine Madison. Get down with your bad self.
Her nickname was Catherine the Great.
She gave it to herself.
Check.
A dream. It's me on the cheerleading squad, adored by every...
I like your top, Cordelia. It's a cute top, Cordelia. I could believe Cordelia as a witch. They should have given Cordelia powers. Like, not the way they did on Angel, because that was awful. But, like, they should have given her powers.
For I am Xander, king of Cretans. May our lesser Cretans bow before...
Well, at least you're self-aware.
At least...
It's just how many more hours a day can I practice? You know, how much more can I do?
Maybe you're not good at cheerleading.
This would never happen to my mother.
My mom was a much better cheerleader than me. My mother was a cheerleader. I was not a cheerleader at all. I did not even try. Even the year that my high school had one cheerleader, I still did not try out for cheerleading. And that is not a joke. For 3 years of my high school experience, we had 3 cheerleaders, and one year there was only one.
Cordelia. Feed on her.
These really only work if the people you know look like Barbies, and I don't know anyone who looks like Charisma Carpenter. Only she looks like Charisma Carpenter.
Mom, I've accepted that you've had sex. I am not ready to know that you had Farrah hair.
This is Gidget hair. Don't they teach you anything in history?
How old is her mom supposed to be? Gidget was the 1960s. Her mom was supposed to have graduated in the 1960s? How fucking old is she supposed to be? I mean, I guess she could be in her 40s, but she doesn't look like she's in her 40s. She looks like she had Buffy quite young, like in her early 20s.
Like a pen that's all chewed up, and you know you should throw it away, but you don't. Not because you like it so much, more because
You're autistic, Willow. Oh, it's making me want to chew on stuff.
Or I could...
Giving her ID bracelets, settling
Stop!
windows, taking...
You flunked driver's ed twice already. Show me some moves or you'll be taking the bus to college.
I don't know that I would tell a student driver to show me some moves. Damn, Cordelia is going through something right now.
Witches, Historic Roots to Modern Practice. Checked out by Alexander Harris.
You know, Willow, you should not be too smug. You should not be so smug.
Those of you in track 1 may begin your dissections now.
Did you dissect something in high school? I was a conscientious objector. I used the fact that I was pro-life to protest dissecting fetal pigs. That's not a joke. I was super pro-life, and I very much made that argument to get out of the fetal pig thing. So, tell me in the comments. Did you dissect something?
Oops.
Nobody suspected a thing. Look, she has a troll pencil, though. You were so smooth standing there with a handful of her hair. They're just doing this shit in the science lab right in front of her.
Set. Do you have a plan?
Spill it on her. Try and make it
Talk
look
a
natural.
little louder about it, too. They just have a gate that looks like that. Like, that's just normal. It's got, like, a devil head. That's just out there all the time.
I should be on that team by now. But instead, Miss Buffy and friends are sneaking around stealing bits of my hair.
Yeah, they were obvious about it. You are right to be pissed.
Like, I can't be in a good mood? Is it like a new house rule? Fine, you know? That's just fine, because I'm a macho man.
Joyce, your kid is on drugs!
They can't help her.
The eye line in
That's
this
10
shot
vacant
is... There's like a few uncomfortable eye lines.
And we can reverse all the spells if we can just lay our hands on Amy's spellbook.
Did I do it? Was it hot? If you hear my dog whining, she's fine. There's something out in the yard she wants to fuck with.
She said I was wasting my youth. So she took it.
I'm just lost in thought. I'm like thinking about what I would do to have one day that my back didn't hurt. Like, would I? Would I? No. Would I?
I woke up in her bed. I didn't know where I was. Then I looked in the mirror.
I'm calling bullshit on that. I think that if she woke up in her mom's bed and then she sat up the way that she would sit up as a teenager, the way she would get out of bed, she would have been instantly paralyzed and then she would know. Kids fucking jackknife out of their beds. Don't mind me. Just a faculty member carrying an unconscious student into a dark room. Sunnydale High is so... like... Thank God it's Giles. Right? Thank God it's Giles. Because we know that he has good intentions. But what about that one teacher that was dating students and eating them? This is the kind of environment that allowed that to happen. Or allowed that to will happen. To make it to will happen. Never mind. There's a hole in the armpit of that sweater, and it makes me absolutely feral with rage. She's living my dream.
Take of mine energy and be sated.
I just find a different job at that point. If I'm having to plunge my hand into any sort of ritual. I feel like right after this episode is when everybody should have just gotten involved in witchcraft. Because if Giles wasn't the only one doing that, like if Willow was a witch and Xander was a witch, and hell, Buffy can become a witch. I don't see why she couldn't. She's already got mystical powers. Like, at that point, why don't you all just learn to be witches? Witchcraft ends up being the solution to like 83% of their problems. It also tends to be a major cause of their problems. Like, see, like, Buffy could, like, protect herself against that if she became a witch. So anyway, the way magic is used in this show, like throughout all the different seasons, is actually really consistent in terms of look and style. Like we see swirling lights a bunch, and they're done with like they're done the same way, you know, and like things getting sucked into portals and all that. So magic looks pretty much the same all the way through Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I like that because they, you know, they were on long enough that there were things that, you know, like advances that were made, but they kept it consistent, and I really appreciate that. That means that when Buffy blew up the school, did she blow up that mom too? Like, did the mom I mean, if the mom survived it, she would have been in all that construction rubble. But I mean, can we safely assume that when Buffy blew up the school that it just set her free? I'm just looking for ways I can make characters come back, like interesting characters come back, like the mom witch and stuff. She could come back because she's probably free from that thing because Buffy blew up the school. One of the things that I noticed that was a little heavy-handed was the consistently reminding the viewer that there's going to be monsters other than vampires. Like, I don't know if they thought that people were going to be resistant to that concept, and so they were like kind of like playing it safe, but like, don't worry, nobody's resistant to that concept. I think everybody likes as many monsters as possible. It doesn't make sense to me that vampires could exist but other monsters couldn't. It seems like if vampires exist, then the other monsters would have to exist as well. That is season 1 episode 3. And I think that this is really where the show takes off. I feel like when you watch that 2-part pilot, it feels like a pilot. But when you get to episode 3, it feels like the show knows what it is. Like, I really like this episode. This is probably one of my favorite episodes. If I'm thinking fondly of the series, I generally will think of this episode. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that little notification thing, and I will catch you on the flip side.